Welcome everybody, welcome to Homestead Heart, and today we are back in the kitchen yet again, and this time we are doing some canning, so y'all stay tuned. Okay, before we get to the pickles, look, first things first. Woohoo! Yeah. Yes, you can. The t-shirts are down below. Hopefully, if you're canning with me today, you have on your Yes You Can tee in your favorite color. Except me. I don't know why I got yellow and pink. Clearly is my favorite color. But anyway, I'll get one later. However, thank you to everybody who has already ordered your mugs, your Yes You Can t-shirts, your Yes y'all t-shirts, and of course, peace and blessings. Now I have another one coming out soon called Grow Your Groceries. Y'all, we gotta grow our groceries so that we can can our groceries, okay? So let's get canning. Now, the first thing you're gonna need is some cucumbers. I picked these out of the garden. And you're going to need about 8 to 10 pounds of cucumbers, okay? And I got way more than 8 to 10 pounds. I probably got like, I don't know, 20 pounds of cucumbers in this pot right here. And they have been sitting in a saltwater brine overnight. In this pot of water here, I added about a cup of salt. Yeah, I think it's about a cup of salt that I added to this big pot because I have a lot of cucumbers. And so they've just been sitting in this saltwater brine overnight. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drain the water off of these cucumbers and give them a quick rinse. And then we'll get started. Okay. Before I do this, I'm going to sit this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and get started on our brine. So let's go ahead and do the brine first. Okay. So we can get that on the stove. My water bath canner is already on the stove under the fire heating up because that water needs to be hot because our jars are going to go in hot. Okay, so if you have your water bath canner, go ahead and get your water added according to your canner's directions. Get your water added to the canner. That water just simply needs to cover the lids, the tops of your jar needs to cover it by at least 1 to 2 inches. I prefer 2 inches of water to come over the top of that, over the top of my jars when they're canning. I just want to make sure we don't have no problems with getting them sealed, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with getting this brine together. Okay, y'all, so what you're going to need for this brine, I already have in my pot, and I know I'm going to have to make more brine, but I'm not going to have to make it for this particular batch of cucumbers, pickles that we're making. I'll just go back and do a second batch because all of them are not going to be able to fit in the canner anyway. So I have 1 quart of water. Next, I'm going to add 1 quart of vinegar, okay? And you can do all white vinegar, but I'm going to do about a half and half. Going to add a half a cup of white vinegar. And I'm going to add a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Now you can add whichever apple cider vinegar you want. Of course, I have the apple cider vinegar with the mother. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill that the rest of the way up. Oh, come on. Okay. 2 hours later. All right, now I'm going to add that to my water. And it's just that I love the flavor of apple cider vinegar in pickles. You don't have to do that, okay? But I love the flavor, all right? So now I'm going to go ahead and add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And again, I use the pure crystals, okay? Marina sugar is what I use. And it's 3/4 of a cup. And if you have the pure crystals or Marina, it is going to be a non-GMO sugar, and it is organic, and it's not expensive, okay? All right. So now, that's my 3/4 cups of sugar that's going in there. Put this to the side. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of kosher salt. Now, if you don't have the kosher salt, you can use the canning and pickling salt, okay? But do not use salt with iodine, please. There we go, right in the pot. Then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of pickling spice. Now, my pickling spice already comes mixed. It's not a ball pickling spice. Y'all know I'm the spice, I'm the original spice girl, okay? So my spices already comes blended with so many different types of spices, including some peppers. And yes, I'm putting that in there. So that's 1, 2, 3. Plus I'm going to add another one of them peppers in there. That's my pickling spice. Now, first I'm going to give this a whisk. And if you have dill seed or the head of dill, I don't know what I said at first, but I don't have fresh dill is what I meant to say. And I do not have dill seed is what I meant to say, if I didn't say that correctly. Give this a whisk. Just whisk it up real good. Make sure that sugar is well blended. And then I'm going to get this on the fire. Fire. All right. Move this out the way. We're going to really have a fall. Okay. So now, while that's heating up, I don't have dill, fresh dill heads, and I don't have dill seed, but I have dill weed, plenty of it. So what I'm going to do in place of the, I think it's however many heads of dill you'll need for this. If you have fresh dill, then you can use that. But what I'm going to do is in each one of my jars, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of dill weed, okay? Dill weed, okay? All right. Let me get these jars up here because we're going to get them all filled. Oh, I hope that was 2. Just 2 teaspoons. These pickles are going to have a strong dill flavor, which is what we want. They dill pickles. Or, if you from my side of town, you didn't say pickle too much. You said purple, okay? So we're going to get these purples together, all right? Get them canned up, okay? But I got to get them rinsed off. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now pickles have been rinsed. Y'all see all them cucumbers I got in this pot? Okay, so those have been rinsed. My canner is going, heating up. My brine is over there, getting ready to come to a boil. Now what I'm going to do, you want to cut off the ends, each end of every cucumber, okay? You want to cut off those blossom ends. I know. So, and then I'm going to cut this in half because I'm doing spears, right? I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut these, depending on how big it is, y'all. I'm going to cut this one in 3s because it is a nice size. Yeah, I'm going to cut it in 3s because it is a nice size. Now, Mr. Homestead Heart, I'm going to have to get a better knife. Mr. Homestead Heart does not like sweet pickles. I'm making dill pickles because he likes dill pickles. I don't like dill pickles. I like sweet pickles. So I I'll be making gherkins and sweet relish for me the next time. But that man loves some dill pickles. Okay, so I also have I had to go grab me a little bowl because just in case these don't fit in the jar, they too tall, I have to cut them off, right? Yeah, so I'm going to be cutting those because I want them to fit easily into my jar. See here? Just some spears, just like so. And I'm going to stand those up in my jar, just like so. And the little cucumber chunks that I have left, I'm going to put those in a bowl, and I'll just make a bowl of cucumber chunks. That's all. I mean, I'll just can some cucumber chunks is what I meant to say. And you're just going to have to work with them to start getting them down in the jars, okay? Now, I find that this is a lot easier than slicing cucumber slices. But if you like cucumber slices, then do that. But we don't really do a lot of slices. Even like if we're making turkey burgers or something like that, we always just get a spear of whatever. Or I like my little sweet gherkins, just sit those on the side. I really don't need them on my burger. And neither does Mr. Homestead Heart. So we don't really do slices. Now, bread and butter pickles, if I do slices of those, it's just because I love bread and butter pickles. And I can eat them just like that. But Mr. H, not him. He don't care for bread and butter pickles. Yeah, that's just a little too tall. It's all right. I got it. Get those down in there. Ooh, that's a big one. Stand this baby up. You just cut that off. Y'all see all the water coming out these cucumbers? That might be too big. Hold on 1 second. And y'all are going to have to work with them to try to get them down in the jar, okay? They ain't going to just go down willingly. All right. That's my first jar of spears. And the dill is in the bottom. Now, Mr. H is going to love these babies. And if you like, you can do these in quarts or you can do them in 1.5 pints. But this is fine. If I did a quart, he would eat the whole quart at one time. I can't do that. Sometimes you got to be wise with your stuff. Especially if you want it to last. Oh, boy. But that's our secret, okay? Don't tell him I do this on purpose. All right. Cut off those ends. So many wonderful videos to share with y'all next week. I mean, a lot of them. Y'all are not going to believe it. Y'all are just not going to believe it. In fact, it has taken me two weeks to be able to do the video to share with you all. And not because I couldn't do it. I was just so overwhelmed at the kindness that we have been receiving that it has taken me 2 weeks to do the video. All because I was overwhelmed just trying to do the video. So I was finally able to get through the video without boo-hooing. So it's just so much, y'all. I can't wait to share it with you. The video is done, but it won't be up until next week. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Whew, my friend from DC, my sister friend. Lord knows, she'll have to tell you. It took me some time to get to this point to be able to talk about that. So I can't wait to share it with y'all. So y'all make sure y'all stay on the lookout. I forgot to mention to you all, if you find a cucumber that has blemishes or spots or something on it, be sure you cut that part off. Just like my mama say, right? Cut that part off. Just cut that part off. Okay? Yeah, cut that part off. And don't put that in your jar with your pickles. I think that one's all I'm going to get in that one. Start on this next one. Yeah. Now, when you soak your cucumbers in the salt brine, that also helps to make your pickles a little on the firm side, okay? So it has a benefit. It ain't just to make it salty. You're making them pickles nice and firm. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful spears. Aren't these some beautiful cucumbers that came from the garden, y'all? I got more of them out there. I got a lot of them. But I have to make sure I can enough pickles for Mr. Homestead Heart, because y'all, I'm telling you, he eat a lot of dill pickles. He love them. Ain't no such thing as canning too many around here. Speaking of Mr. Homestead Heart, he's pulling up. Yay! He's gonna love to see me doing this part. Y'all, I got a counter full of tomatoes too that y'all can't see. I got tomatoes all over here. Because I got a lot of tomato sauce I gotta make. And some sauces I gotta make. I got a lot of work to do. This is the busy season. But okay, he coming. My goodness. All right, y'all. I got to go greet Mr. Homestead Heart. I'll bring y'all back in a minute. Okay, so jars are done. Brine is ready. Turn the fire off. My lids were over here simmering. Now I'm going to go ahead and get all of my jars filled up with my brine. And you can strain this by putting like a putting all of your mixes in like oh, that's full. In like a cheesecloth of some kind. You know, if you don't want to see all these spices in the jar, you can do that. But we're okay with this. This is for us, and we are perfectly okay with seeing all of those delicious spices float around the jar. All right, I had to make some room. Told y'all I got stuff everywhere. Just wiggle that around. Just releasing air pockets. Now, if you find that once you release those air pockets, the head spacing falls, then you want to bring that back up to the proper head spacing, okay? Okay, so I'm back. I'm gonna tell you what had happened. Remember this channel, we try to share it with you, okay? So, our guineas got spooked. Grizzly spooked our guineas, and they all flew over the fence and was going away. So Mr. H and I had to go and try to get them and bring them back, and man, that was a task. But in any case, I had my brine in my jars already before I could get them in the canner, and when I left out and came back in, the brine was cold, the jar was cold, and my water in my canner is boiling hot, so I couldn't do that. So I had to pour all of the brine out, put it back in the pot, bring it back to a boil. And now I'm getting ready to fill the jars again. So this is a homestead. Stuff happens, okay? So now that I'm boiling, I'm going to pull that. Let me put these back over here. My lids are back in the water, simmering again. Move all of this stuff out of the way. Had to take the bands, everything. All right. So now, I'm going to get my brine and bring it back over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and get the brine in the jars. Again, I'm leaving a 1/2 inch head space. Just thundering again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and debubble these few little jars first. Okay. Without burning myself, because that water is hot. Just move them around to get the air, release any air pockets. And make sure they all get down in the jar. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get these rims wiped, because before I go too far, I don't want these jars to cool down again. All right, I did put my lids back in the pot to simmer. I'm going to get these in the pot because I don't want them to begin to cool down. I want them to stay warm or hot. Do y'all hear that thunder? Now, I'm going to go ahead and get these in the jar, in the canner. All right, that's 4. All right. Ooh-wee, do y'all hear that thunder? My sister in DC sometime, if she know I'm in the house, she'll always text me and say it must be raining. Because she know otherwise I'll be outside in the garden. She know that if it's raining, I'm in the house doing some canning. Let's get them in. Let's get them in the canner. Y'all, I'm gonna have to hurry up. I gotta go help Mr. H get everything put up. Before that rain starts. Ooh, that's pretty. Y'all see that? I had to show that to y'all. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that just gorgeous? Okay, so now that I have them all in the canner, I'm gonna go ahead, get my lid on, cranked up the heat to high. This is water bath canning for all of our new subscribers, okay? Water bath canning is for high acid foods. For example, you saw me put vinegar in the brine that I use to make the pickles for the pickles, okay? So high acid, like pickling and tomato sauces, things like that, that is what you'll use a water bath canner for. Pressure canning is for low acid foods, okay? Just Google it, do some research on it so you'll read it for yourself, okay? So now I'm gonna bring this back up to a boil. Once this starts boiling, I'm gonna process those pints for 15 minutes. Even if you were doing quart-sized jars of dill pickles, you will still process them for 15 minutes, but your time will not start until your water is rolling at a hard boil, okay? So I'll bring y'all back after the 15 minutes is up and we'll take the pickles out of the canner. Okay, it has been 15 minutes. I have allowed the jars to sit in the canner for 5 minutes. After the 15 minutes was up, I turned the fire off, but now I need to take the lid off. And I do that to let the water settle down, because you don't want this water flopping up in your face or on your hand while you're trying to take hot jars out, okay? And as always, open the lid away from you so you don't burn that beautiful face of yours off with that steam, okie dokie? All right. Let's go ahead and get them out. Woo. All right. Now, y'all know I'm big on safety, okay? And one of our subscribers told me in the comment section, don't tilt the jars over when you're taking them out of the canner to dump the water off the lid, because that could also affect your seal. And I didn't know that. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just not do that, because the water on the top will evaporate. And if not, I could always just drop a dry towel over the top and it'll wick the water off. But that was a wonderful, wonderful safety tip for me. And yes, I'm following that advice. All right, so let me get the rest of the jars out. And they're already sealing. Yeah. That's what my granddaughter say. Yeah. All right, y'all see those beautiful pickles? Let me show you up close and in person. Look at those beautiful dill pickles. Yes, and the jars are sealing. And they look fantastic. And I know Mr. H is going to love these. Yes, he is, because they was made with love. Right. Woo. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, it is. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for today's dill pickles. Yeah. Wasn't that easy, though? That was so easy. I mean, I think the longest part was cutting the cucumbers. So I am going to let these babies sit overnight. I will not touch them until tomorrow. Yep. And when I come back tomorrow, I'm going to take off the bands. Okay? these are the bands. To all of my newbies, this is what I'm talking about. I take the bands off the jars, okay? I don't leave these on. I take them off, I write the date, and then I put them away. Now, some people say, where do you put them? Wherever you put canned food. Wherever you buy your canned foods from and you put them in your kitchen cabinets, wherever you store them at when you go to the grocery store, and you might buy some canned green beans or some canned corn or whatever you buy in the can from the grocery store, and you wherever you store that, that's where you store. These ain't ready yet, but that's where you store this. This is your canned foods, right? This is your canned foods. So you will store your canned foods in your cabinet, or if you have a special place, you know, if you have, I don't know, an extra bedroom or something and nobody's using it and you want to put some shelves up and start putting your canned foods on that shelf, you can do that too, all right? So once you get the jars, you remove the bands, you wipe the jars down, you write the date on the top and the product inside. So I will write today's date in dill pickles. And that's what I'll do. And then I will put them away in my pantry. Okay? So that is it, you all. I hope you enjoyed today's video in spite of the stops and the stops and starts and starts. I had to stop a lot today because it felt like the bottom was going to fall out because it was thundering and whew, we had to get the evening chores done before that happened. And that came out of nowhere. So that's going to do it, you all. Thank you so much to all of our wonderful subscribers, new and existing. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much, y'all. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we upload to our channel. Thank you so much again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. And I'll see you in the next canning video. Voila.